Thank you for joining another Sweet Release Healing Roundtable. We are already giggling before we start. My name is Andrea Lovett. I'm from Sweet Release Healing, as the name says. Today we have Sharon and Morgan in our wonderful producer roles, but we also have Tiffany, Spencer, and Sharon.
What do we have?
I don't know.
What do we have?
Nobody knows.
We're gone. We've already lost Charity. Kate's gone. Spencer's a whole new man because he shaved. Nobody recognizes him anymore. It's just Tiffany and I now. We're going to hold it down, Tiff. We got this.
Good luck.
Yeah, we're screwed. Okay, well, tonight's topic is supposed to be healing in the void and balancing light and dark. I taught the void last night in meditation, so we did the void guided meditation last night, so I'm gonna void it out. So if anybody wants to start this conversation, feel free. Tiff, you love the void.
Every time I know it. Every time. I do. I love the void. And I have to say it was one thing that I've actually been thinking about, especially since last night, was how many people are kind of scared of it or feel uncomfortable or like maybe not even get anything. So I was trying to make sense of that in my head. And you said something last night during the meditation of it being absolute pure balance of both the positive and the negative. And that kind of made it click in my head that could be a reason why so many people are so uncomfortable there, because it makes you look at yourself at a more balanced point. Sharon's giggles don't help any of this conversation.
Just remember, they don't see Sharon. Just us that they see. It's just us that they hear. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, behind the scenes, behind the scenes in the round table. It's ridiculous. But anyhow, so I can see where Tiffany's coming from, where the void. So last night's void meditation was not screwing around. They had us view ourselves with these new attributes that the void had us pick up, putting away attributes that they didn't want us to have anymore. And this time we didn't have the true control over it. Our highest self and our spirit guides were there in the void with us, asking us to let the void do its job, to pull all that really no longer serves. And some people, as all that was being pulled out of them, I made the joke. I was like, they look like Swiss cheese people to me. There was a lot being pulled out. I was like, one stiff gust of wind in the void. We're going to be down a participant. But I also noticed when the void came up with that big book, which surprised me because I didn't know that this book even existed, from the Akashic records of this big white book of human attributes. I thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, you are shitting me that this thing exists. How is this thing possible? And of course, so like when I'm leading any kind of meditation, I let spirit do the work. They bring up what's coming next. And Spencer, so Tiff, I believe you were there last night and I sent it to Charity too. So Spencer, I don't think you got to see this one. It was so weird. It was so completely and utterly unusual for the void. This time it was like the void was like, no, I know what you guys need. Like, I got you this time. Like, hello, friends. Good to see you again. It was actually calling everybody old friend. It was like, time to come back. It was so freaking cool. But I digress. One of the things they had us do was look at the mirror of us incorporating all those attributes and letting go of all the things they wanted us to, and how we would move through our lives as like our new us. Go through the mirror, accept her, turn around and see our old version and shatter the mirror so we couldn't go back to our old version. And it was like my old version just looked like me in a really dark room, badly lit, and like someone went like this and just smudged the whole image. Like, didn't even recognize me. I was like, oh, that is creepy. Like, and I love creepy stuff, but that was like creepy. Have you ever felt that way, you guys, when you go to the void, and the void, like Tiffany is saying, is not screwing around? It's a place where you really see who you are.
I've only done the one. I've done one of your void meditations once. I think my struggle with it is that you almost have to go to a pretty vulnerable state, and I don't love going to a vulnerable state. Like, I'm the one usually helping people in a vulnerable state, not actively putting myself in that vulnerable state. And so, but like, there was something about it that was still so calming, though. There was like the non-judgmental side of it, right? Like, and just the truth was just radiating it, right? And I kind of, when I was there, there's this scene in a Final Fantasy video game where it's your character is just floating in black, nothing, and it's beautiful, and there's like stars and stuff, and there's harp music playing, and that's like how it came to me. So I was like, that is so calming, but also like just so vulnerable at the same time. And I don't know, it's really scary and exciting to me.
I love that. It is scary and exciting, huh?
It is. Like, I love the void. I don't understand, like, when people are afraid of it. Like, Tiffany asked me, like, what was it like the first time you went? And when I thought about it, I was like, I think I've been going there a lot longer than I know. Mm-hmm. But when you get in there, like, it's completely peaceful. Now, when you get into doing things, yeah, you have to be really vulnerable. Like, you have to, like, let go of it. And sometimes we don't want to let go of it because we, like, want to hang on to those kinds of things because we've had them for so long. But if you actually just let yourself be in there and, like, let it do what it's going to do, you can create and pull things out and put things back, and you can see different aspects of things. And, like, you can create so much in there. Like, I love the void. Is there times when I'm crying when I get out? Yes. But I love it. It's something, and there's a peace about it when you're done. And so I know some people are like, well, afraid of it, but I don't quite understand that. I don't know if it's just something they're not used to, or if it's just overwhelming, maybe, because it is a lot sometimes that's coming out and being put back. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I love it. And every time it's different. It's beautiful. Like, I love the void.
Me too. I think it's that, I think it goes back to that fear of, who am I going to be when this process is over? And the whole unknown, what's going to happen when I'm here? I feel like a lot of my clients report, they're like, I've been following you for like a year. I've been trying to talk myself into getting this gift focus session or whatever it is, introducing using your gifts, whatever it is, of where they're actually going to use their gifts and learn about them. And they have so much fear surrounding it because they keep saying, I don't want it to overpower me. I don't want to lose me. And I don't know what this is going to look like. It's that unbalanced ego piece that says you're not safe until you have it all laid out in front of you. But let's be honest. How many of us can say that when we've had it all laid out in front of us, we haven't fucked it up?
I think that's the key piece to the void, is true honesty to yourself. And once you can feel somewhat okay doing that, that space is going to have a completely different feeling.
Mm-hmm. I think once you get okay with at least some concept of flow, not knowing what's coming next, like you're saying, and just being able to accept that you're there for the right reasons, for good reasons, that it does become far more comforting and not so nerve-wracking.
Morgan and Sharon are kind of talking about losing control and like actively letting that control go. And that is hard for humans to do. And especially when it's something so deep and serious and different to us, right? Because we have to accept that we're somewhere else. We have to accept multiple things before we can get there to actually do that work. And then even then, you even have to let go even more control of like, hey, higher self, I trust that you got this.
Mm-hmm. Are you guys seeing the chat on TikTok? Kristen was saying, oh, 100% self-sabotage sets in so hard in those moments. That's when that's all you've known. And that's true. So many people have been raised with the unbalanced ego being your safety net. That it's active, that you're safer when you're in fear, doubt, judgment, condemnation, and comparison. And then Jessica said, could you imagine doing a sensory deprivation chamber and a void meditation at the same time? Baby, been there, and it was amazing. I did it once, and it was so good. So good. I'm not going to lie, though. It was very, I don't know how to say this in a PG way. Adult time feeling-ish. Like, my body was like, oh, we're doing this. And I was like, we're actually not. Like, we're not doing that here. Like, we're in a sensory deprivation tank. This is what we're doing. But be aware that that can come up really easily, because that's how the human body responds to, yes, Kundalini. Thank you, Sharon. To the approachment of so much wisdom, knowledge, balance, especially those big creative energies of the void, where the everything and the nothing flow together so beautifully and perfectly, where the light and the dark balance and the masculine and the feminine are just fantastic and perfectly in alignment together for the sake of creation. What say you, Tiff? Who likes to chat, like type all kinds of shit in the chat.
I agree.
No, Alexa, please stop.
Charity gone.
We lost Charity. She fell off the stool. Oh, we're never going to get this one back, are we? This is gone. All right. So for everybody listening who is not watching this on Spotify or on YouTube and is listening to this through Apple or Google or Amazon, or even listening just on Spotify, here we go. So it has finally happened where I have stopped fighting the universe and someone has come into my life. I don't know how long they're going to stay there. I don't know anything about it because Spirit has blocked me. Shut up, Charity. I'm laughing at this shit. Spirit has completely and utterly blocked me. Every time I try to tap in, I hit a brick wall. And it's not just a brick wall. I feel like I have walked down a dark alley that is no light and it is foggy and there is nothing to be seen. And I just stop and stand there like, what the actual fuck is happening right now? What the shit? So, Charity knows this because Charity and I text all freaking day long, which is why she can't pull it together and she's giggling like she's going to pee her pants. Tiffany's having a ball with this one because she can see, because she's not blocked. Spencer's just coming into this. Sharon's having a blast with this. Morgan's chatting all over the place. So is everybody good now? Everybody happy now? Everybody happy? Everybody's like making fucking comments about Andrea is loosening her control on things. Yeah, I'm aware, and it's very uncomfortable. Thank you. Thank you very much. It drives me bananas that he is the only person on the planet that I can't read. The only person on this planet that I get a blank wall with. And I'm not happy. And I actually told him that last night. Like, you're the only person. I can't read you. And it's driving me nuts. I cannot read you at all. And he's like, I'm not the first person to say that. And I was like, that's not helpful. Because I don't think you know anybody other than me. Because now I'm jealous. Are you shitting me now? Cool. The Libra's jealous. Fan-fucking-tastic.
I'm kind of getting a thing, though. We were just talking about, like, not having control, and then that's making our ability to create something. And now you have the ability to create something with someone else without your controlling. What do you make of it, Andrea?
I'm going to drink water on you. Shut up, Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer.
All right, Morgan. Morgan is capitalizing, chatting in the chat. Do you know why? With 1, 2, 3, 4 question marks. Yes, I fucking know why. Because I'm supposed to be a human being with him, and I don't like that. I didn't sign up for that here. I signed up to help humanity, did not sign up to be part of you.
Yes,
I
you did.
resent it.
Yeah.
No, you're not beneath me. Shut up. Oh, I know. I'm so arrogant. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be. I really don't. My foot in my mouth daily. Shut up, Tiff. Oh, all right.
I hate meat soup.
The chat is going crazy right now. The chat is having a freaking blast with this. My face is on fire. Oh my God, Morgan. That's so bad. So Morgan has said to our wonderful producers, our wonderful, fantastic producers, Morgan and Sharon, you can find them in Discord. You can DM them for me if you want. I will give you all their socials. I will dox them right now. I'm kidding. She enjoys someone's meat suit like Cannibal Squirrel because they call him the tree and they call me the squirrel since I have squirrel ADHD brain badly. And he is 6'5". No, you guys don't understand. He picked me up last night and his truck is giant. I was like, what did you go for, like the biggest truck that they make? Like, what happened? Your truck looks like it's on steroids. And he was laughing at me as I was saying this stuff. And he's like, the funny part is when you walk behind the truck, I can't see you anymore because the truck is taller than me. And not the cab, the back is taller than I am. And I'm 5'5", I'm 5'6". I'm not short for a woman. All right. Can we get back on track a little bit? No, we done? I kind of had a feeling that we were totally done for today. Like it was left of center from the very beginning.
We're just,
Sharon's like, go, keep going.
yeah.
I actually kind of like this because we were going to talk about the balance of light and dark as well.
Mm.
And like, I was doing some reading about it, and somewhere it was talking about how the light is everything else, but the dark is earth, right? Trying to balance our spiritual side and our humanity earth side. And I was like, that's kind of an interesting thing. And you're feeling it right now. There's like a loss of balance. Your light side is very heavy, and your dark side or your earthly side is like a new unknown balance. And trying to figure out how to balance those two things is new to you. And we all kind of have those points.
To me personally?
Right? That's an example for you right now. I think we all have our different points where something new comes into play where it throws off our balance. And your balance was thrown off.
Why are we still talking about me?
It was an example.
I see what Spencer's saying, especially with those huge magnetic shift changes that the Earth is going through right now that we're feeling. That was just measured. Is it called the Schumann
resonance? Yes.
Schumann resonances. Thank you. I keep wanting to call it Schumacher, and I know that I'm wrong, but I can't get it right. Because again, me with names, not always the most accurate. Shut up, Morgan. I'm just going to randomly start yelling, shut up, Morgan, now. So everybody who's listening can understand that my frickin' producer is being such a smartass and getting in as many jabs as she can because she loves me. I'm aware. But you could love me less harder. Okay. I think that's a valid point. Is a lot of people will see the earth side as darker because it is heavier. We're used to energy that is so much lighter.
For us, for me specifically, just barely really tapping into this light side. Like that light side has always been there, but now I'm really starting to pull on that more, where the dark side was my comfortable side. And I think we're all kind of in a different place where that the balance is different places. And are we ever really going to be able to find that true balance between the two? Especially when the comfort zone may be in the dark or maybe in the light.
That's where I like to balance for me, because exactly, my comfort zone is in the dark. Not necessarily human darkness, but in the darkness, because that's where the brightest lights are found. And that phrase has always brought me the most comfort ever, is a starry sky is mostly darkness. And I feel comfortable and safe looking at the sky. The second I bring my eyes back down to the earth, I'm like, something's going to eat me. Something here is going to kill me or bite me or sting me, and I'm going to die. But I know that that's not accurate still. But the thing that has helped me balance my light and dark lately is to be the darkness in the light and the lightness in the dark, like the moon. We have the bright side of the moon and we have the dark side of the moon. It still exists in perfect harmony. It still is the moon. So I can be the dark side of the light and the light side of the dark in one person. And I love that for me. That helps me feel safe here in a body, which a lot of starseeds don't feel. A lot of starseeds out there will feel like they just don't belong on this planet, like they're visitors, like we're here for a mission and that's it. Some of us feel like we're here on vacation and then we wonder why we chose this part. We're like, cool, we chose Florida. All the places to go.
My brain went to Florida when you said that. I was like, we're in Florida.
Yeah,
well, I'll never forget the first time I met Monica was when Sweet Release Healing was still really small a couple years ago, and she popped up on one of my TikTok lives, and she had a valid question: do aliens not visit the Earth because the Earth is like the Florida of the galaxy, of the solar system? And I was like, that's amazing, and I couldn't stop laughing at it for days. I laughed at that joke, but it stuck with me. What do we feel about balancing the light and the dark? Tiffany, who's typing away, and Charity, who's
right, but it wasn't something mean this time.
It was. It was. Yay, Tiffany said something not mean. We should mark that on the clip. We should remind ourselves Tiffany said something not mean.
Okay. So I think that brings up what I was thinking in my head, a very interesting question, because I so much embrace my dark side, especially like that's where I've been in for almost the past year, is really embracing that side of myself and of energy. So is there a balance to where you might have to lean to one side or the other more to find that equilibrium between the two?
I think so. I definitely think so. I mean, do you not find yourself sometimes like standing closer to one side than the other? Like just through daily stuff, like the way you feel and what you're doing, who you're around, what you're exposed to. Yeah, I think so. I think it goes back and forth. I catch myself or my God sometimes like screaming balance at the end of the day sometimes because I've shifted one way or the other. Sometimes I'll be like really, really, really happy all the time, happy all the time, happy all the time, and I need to like ground and sit down, and I can't, right? And then so they're like screaming balance. And then sometimes I'm like stuck, and then they'll scream balance, like you got to get up because now I'm not. And for me, I don't know about most people, but for me, it's kind of this up and down and this thing that's a constant flow and moving and shifting. And I think a lot of times we stand in the darkness a long time to be able to see what it's like to be in the light. And the same goes for the light. We'll stand in it for a long time to see what it's like to be in the dark. That's why I love the void. You can make it light or dark. As soon as you come in there, that's why I don't understand the fear around it. Like, I really don't. I know it's tough. I know it's tough, but not to be afraid of it. Because when I go in there, I can be light or dark, and there's no judgment of either one except myself that's doing it. And that's why I love it so much, is because I can see that dark side of me and I can see the good side of me in there. And it's, I love it because it's just me with all the perspectives of myself. Sometimes.
I love that. And I totally relate to it. Like, when I've been seeing a lot of clients or I've been doing a lot of deeper spiritual communications, I need the darkness. I need to stop and ground and disconnect for a little bit and go be human with other human beings. I need to go sit by the river and relax. I need to go knock a couple back. I need to go laugh and dance and joke, or even just veg out and watch TV. Because it has to be balanced. If you think about it. So if we assign labels to this and we say, like, the darkness is the human side and the lightness is the spiritual side. As a human being, as in a spiritual being in a human body, a human being, we are already perfectly calibrated to embody both the light and the dark in one. It's a perfect calibration of two very different mechanisms and ways of being, of experiencing. And here we are doing it. And we were talking, when you guys were talking about the sway back and forth, my guides do the same thing. They're yelling. They're like, hey, balance, you need to go take a bath. You need to go out. You need to stop. You need to do this. Just sit, just be. They'll remind me of balance all the time. I don't know how to say the next part. So, okay. There's this amazing woman I follow on my Instagram. Christina, I want to say it's Kuzmik. She had this video out about balance. And she had all these plates and they were all spinning and she was juggling them all and she had like extra hands and everything. She was doing it all at once. And she let some of them fall and stopped juggling and just held on to two of them. And she said, that's what balance looks like to me. Sometimes balance is letting it all fall. And I think our society is like, go, 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 go all the time. Be everything to everyone, do it all. Sometimes balance is dropping it all. Not worrying about whether you're light or dark or what you're doing for everyone, but just be.
When Tate was talking, you guys were talking about the ups and downs and whatever. I kept on getting a visual of like a heartbeat on a monitor and how it kind of goes up and down and up and down, and like it's unhealthy to go too high, right? And it's unhealthy to go too fast, right? And there should be some even things. And Tiff, you're the nurse, you might want to correct me on this verbiage, but this is what I'm seeing is it. We have to have all of it to be alive, to be healthy, to have that heartbeat keeping us going. It has to be up and down and straight lines, right? And I just keep on. I'm feeling my heart it's kind of racing right now while we're talking about it, and I'm seeing it. And it's like working for me.
Everybody in the chat is on TikTok is loving that analogy of the heartbeat and the heartbeat monitor. You have to have the ups and the downs. You have to have the rests in between. Because if it's just beating like crazy, the heart is going to short circuit. It's going to throw off its own electronic. What is that? What am I trying to say? Electro rhythm. I'm going to go with that. It's the closest I can get. Words are not my bag today. not having it.
I think that sets up perfectly what our expectation is as human beings. And that is just to honor both sides of us, to just be who we are for whatever that means.
But then that begs the question, who are we? And are we willing to find that out on a daily basis? Are we willing to let that unfold? Or are we trying to run before we can walk? Wow. I'm going to stop talking now.
Isn't that what, I mean, okay, I'll see if I can say this. Who we are, isn't that the purpose of it? And we're not just one thing forever. Like, even with a heartbeat, as you get older, like, you change and you shift and you grow and you can devolve or evolve and you can build or you can destroy. And it's this constant up and down, just like a heartbeat, the rhythm, like Spencer said. It is a nice analogy, by the way, that up and down. But isn't that who we are? Because, like, sometimes I'm not the best person in the world. Sometimes I'm great, and sometimes I am so not. Absolutely not. So it's that constant of who are we? I mean, that changes. And sometimes on a daily basis, and sometimes within minutes of what's going on around us, it changes. And it's this constant flow, I think, of, I mean, I ask myself, like, who am I all the time? And it changes. I think that's just part of it, being in the light and being in the dark, and it just kind of works together. It's like sometimes I think, who am I? I am nothing and I am everything because I'm a part of it all. That's it. You know?
When I love that you asked that question, who am I? Because what I heard is an ever evolving process when I asked that of my team. I'm just like, guys, that's an interesting question. Who am I? I haven't asked that in a very long time. And they said, you are an ever evolving, ever unfolding process.
I checked throughout the years. I have those pivotal moments. I don't know about anybody else, but I have those pivotal moments. And then the last time I asked, who am I? I found you. And started this. So here we are.
She's
so
been mad ever since.
Yep. Yep. Ever since.
No, I'm going to go off of that too, because I did not find this community until COVID happened. And I'm this heart analogy, like I keep on coming back to it, that like it's the external factors that change the rate of our heart, like what we are doing at that point. And before COVID, I was going crazy. Like I was people pleasing to the most toxic of levels. I was doing everything, running, doing all the things. And it wasn't until COVID when I had to sit there and literally stop. I was like the first person I knew out of anyone who got COVID. And like that knocked me on my ass. And so at that point I was like, well, I'm sitting here in bed. I'm going to download TikTok. And that is where I started like liking spiritual videos. And then one day, like Andrea popped up on a live and I'm like, who is she? And then she was like, hey, Spencer, I like that name. And I was like, you know what I mean? And ever since then, it's just been a change. And I've started happening to see both sides of both light and dark. I sat very comfortable in my people-pleasing depression side of things. And now I've got these boundaries, both spiritual and both like humanity's boundaries. And I'm finally feeling like, oh, I got this. Like remembering who I am. Like this is the Spencer that I love and that I forgot about.
I love that.
I love that too.
This is the Spencer that I love and I forgot about.
Oh, isn't that great?
I know. You know how many markers I'm adding to this one? I'm like, mark that one. Mark that one. Those are all going to be quotes. You're going to find those on my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you follow me on Facebook, you're going to see everybody's quotes here. I love that. And what a beautiful process. Now, I know that COVID was horrible for a lot of people. It caused a lot of pain and a lot of devastation and a lot of loss. But The spiritual side, people who flowed with COVID and took the time to stop, sit, like Spencer said, and be one with themselves, really made out. Like, I know COVID made me download TikTok too, because I heard it, TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And I was like, I'm too old for TikTok. Are you serious? Like, I was like 38 at the time, and I was like, I'm way too. Even my daughter was like, Mom, don't. And then I downloaded it and I put up my first video, and then she was like, all right, let me show you how to do it. She like took my phone out of my hands, and I was like, you just said not to do this. And she was like, well, now we're here. I'm like, okay, well, now we're here. And you guys are exactly right. And I see what Morgan has put in the chat too, is this is a family that's been built from this. We've built an amazing family of spiritually inclined people who all understand each other and are taking the time to understand what we don't know of each other without judgment. And what a beautiful thing that is. And we wouldn't have had that if we didn't have that reset of COVID globally, of saying, no, you all need to stop. Everybody needs to stop. Sit down. Enough. The whole world came to a grinding halt. Even essential workers. It's funny because, yeah, like Sharon was saying in the chat, it's almost like that's how Spirit intended it. And it's true. I used to laugh and be like, Mother Nature sent us all to our rooms.
Well, as a nurse who had to work through that, I can say I have seen so many people who lived through that in the hospitals and finally looked upon spirituality with a new viewpoint. They had to see and live through some of the most darkest periods as a occupation that I think many others haven't hit. And I think that's why you also see a very spiritual uptake from that profession after everything they had to endure.
It's true. The amount of people who have taken the lessons of COVID and it has opened their spirituality. And like Morgan's saying, Morgan says, I hate to say it because people went through such devastation with COVID and still do. But this pandemic has been the best thing to happen in my life. I reopened my gifts, came across you, Andrea, found my best friend, got confident enough to set boundaries, accept my faults, work towards healing, literally run away to safety. I made decisions I wouldn't have made pre-COVID, life-saving decisions. And that's, how beautiful is that? Somebody's trying to call me during the live. They're going to be so mad. They're going to be like, what did Morgan say? We got half of it. You'll have to watch the podcast. That has been the experience of a lot of people that I know. And we talk about the balance of light and dark. We saw COVID as such a dark thing, but I saw that honestly as Gaia calling in demon energy. I saw that as the light saying, we have tried, we have tried, we have tried. Now it's your turn. Work with us and extend their hand to the dark energies and pull them in. And like Morgan saying, it tipped our world upside down and forced so many of us to finally listen. And if we think about it, remember when they were like, this is only going to last 2 weeks. That's it. 3 years later. We're like, yeah, that was a long 2 weeks, guys. It took that long for enough people to realize what they had accepted as normal was toxic, debilitating, and not sustainable. Do you remember also when they were saying, we're going to get back to normal? How many people had an immediate gut reaction and said, no, we don't want normal again. Normal hurt us. And now that we're out of that hurt, we see it, we feel it. It's all that balance of dark and light, of saying, we need more. We want more from life. And that is now showing in the residences, in the very feel of our earth. And we're all experiencing it in one way, shape, or form. Tired. Food feels super weird. Like, I'm having a hard time with food. I really am. I'm having a very hard time with food right now. I only want certain things, and that is quite literally it. It's high dopamine foods. That's all I want. It's a lot of onions and peppers right now. I can't get enough of onions and peppers right now. It's proteins I'm not used to eating. I was a vegan for a very long time, and now I want proteins, but only certain kinds. I don't really. Pork makes me want to, and beef, absolutely not. Little bits of chicken, fish. That's what I want. Like shellfish. That's what I want. It's weird for me to be going through that, especially as a starseed. Morgan, God damn it.
We were doing so good.
We were doing so well. We were doing so well, staying on point. And now, thank you, Morgan. Jesus.
I was going to say all I want to do is drink fluids, but I don't feel like that's appropriate now.
I wouldn't anymore. Not after Morgan is starting in the chat.
Yes.
Morgan's in rare form tonight. Are we noticing this? Morgan has clearly had her happy foods today. What are you guys experiencing with the big shifts and changes as the balance of light and dark is shifting so heavily and so fast?
It's chaotic, but there's a comfort to it. Like I'm finding a peace in it here and there. Like I was completely out with a migraine the other day, but then I'm back to like normal, and I'm more accepting. I'm starting to be more accepting of change in every little thing, personal and spiritual, and I'm okay with it. And that's the change of like it's out of my control. And before this, I would be completely a mess and like be like I give up, and my anxiety would be through the roof. But like lately, I'm just like I'm going with the flow. Like I can't control this, and this is the best I can do. And I'm just going to continue to do the best I'm going to do, and I'm just going to shine my fucking light.
There it is.
There you go.
Enchanted Raven in the chat said, I'm eating a lot less and feeling lots of energy in my body. Same. I noticed that yesterday. It was like, I'm eating half, if even, the food I was eating before. I don't understand why my ass isn't getting any smaller, but here we are. I blame the Mexican food. I'm just saying, queso is life. It's a life choice. And I'm sticking with that one. It's a dopamine food, and I'm here for it.
I think for me, I pick it up a little differently too. So I don't really get a lot of the physical stuff. And maybe that's just because my body's used to entire chaos all the time. Could be a thing. But I just, like I said, if I could find all the nutrients I need in water, I'd be good. That's the only thing I want, is something to put in my drink to give me everything I need to sustain life. Other than that, I don't want to touch anything else. I only had one migraine, and that was when the Schumann resonance did its thing. That was rough. But other than that, I've gotten so many more downloads about everything that's transpiring up in the universe so many like off-worlders just running around like busy little bees getting everything in order. I actually just posted one on the Discord this morning that I got while I was driving to work. It just seems to be constant right now.
It is. I completely agree.
What about time? Time? Like, I'm having a
What
hard
is that?
time. Yeah. Like,
What
I
is that?
don't eat as much. And I don't notice it sometimes. But time, like, I can't keep up almost lately. And it's unusual. Like, I don't know, 3 or 4 calendars. It's hard to explain. But it's like I get lost in it sometimes.
Since that big shift, March
Yes.
16th,
Yeah.
time
Big
has
time.
made no sense to me. I don't
Right.
understand how we're at the end of June right now. Didn't we just get into June?
Right. I guess that's what it is. Yeah. Time is just really done a number. All the other things like food is really weird, like you guys are saying and everything, but time has been a big one for me. And I don't know, the energy of up and down and up and down. I've kind of been that way my whole life. So just an increase in that really doesn't matter. But the time thing and the eating and the not liking anything and being particular, but I didn't know if y'all had trouble with time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's slipping for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time is already slippery for me as it is. It doesn't take much for me to jump out of a time loop or to see a couple seconds ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Is it bad I've been wearing Moldavite? No. It's a good thing. Helps you with the shift and change. Like with this big one, I had a hard time sleeping that night with that big resonance. I had a hard time sleeping that night. But I mean, we already actively channel, so we knew something was coming. We've been knowing, been feeling it. Spirit's been very honest, like, buckle up, babies. But yeah, time is already slippery for me. And I call it time slips because I'm ahead a little bit. And I'll hear it and I'll experience it a couple seconds before it happens, usually like 5 to 30 seconds before it happens. Like it happened with Sharon. We were sitting together, we're having dinner, and I clearly heard her say, "What?" And I turned to her and I was like, "What did you say?" She goes, "What?" Exactly like I said. Like exactly like I heard. And we didn't need to add that part. That's when it gets worse for me, though, is when I am under the influence. Time slips for me, almost like it needs my control. And when I drop my filters and I'm more in flow with spirit, life, whatever's going on, time slips ridiculously for me. It's a weird one. Because how do you even control that? You don't. Hint, spoiler alert, you don't. You guys remember, like, they can't read the chat, and I'm not reading that out loud because I'm not getting banned on TikTok. I'm not doing it. Sharon was mentioning the fact that there were mind altering things happening at the same time as that time slip. Like, yeah, it happens a lot for me. Mm-hmm. Broccoli head by all. So, back to the points, kids. The chat has just gone off. Like, you guys, killing me.
I love that we've had this crazy balance of like really on topic, really off topic, really on topic,
We're so freaking messy tonight.
squirrels climbing trees.
Enter. Nope. There goes Tiff and Charity. Tiff's off the screen. Who had Tiffany? Tiffany leaves the screen on their bingo card because you just got. Good job, Morgan. It wasn't you this time. Good job, Pumpkin. You get a gold star for not being you this time. Charity fell off the screen. Tiff's gone. She's back. I'm telling you, we need a drinking game. We really do. Like, I'm going to start a Patreon where we're going to we're going to record only on the Patreon because then we're going to have bingo cards. Everybody can have their own bingo card. Well, like whoever's going to be on that week. Spencer's going to say something off the wall. It's so poignant. We all stop and get chills and kind of want to cry, and we have to remember to mark that part. Jerry walks off the screen. Tiffany starts typing. Morgan says something so out of pocket that Andrea can't function for a couple seconds. Erin gets mad at us and says, pull it back in. And then joins in because she realizes you can't beat them, you might as well join them. Yeah, Sharon has given up. You guys broke Sharon. Obviously, it wasn't my fault.
Do you have a defected Sharon?
I have an application for that.
I will take my Sharon in for repairs as soon as I can. Everybody can back off. She's my Sharon. Oh my goodness.
I'll take whatever I can get.
For Sharon is better than no Sharon.
Tiffany, find your own Sharon. This one is mine. Tiffany's a Sharon poacher. I want to put that out there to TikTok as well. Don't let Tiffany near your Sharons. You'll poach them. She's going to take your Sharons. She's going to run away with them. You're never going to see your Sharon again.
As I sit there with my collection of Sharons.
No. She got a bag of Sharons. I love that several weeks ago, Spencer said a bag of cats for me. I don't remember the context. I don't remember what we were talking about. But every once in a while, someone will say bag of cats. I don't even know where it came from anymore, but it's suddenly the funniest thing I've ever heard. I'm going to mark this clip too. There we go. Ha-ha. Ha-ha. Tiffany's going to go down as the Sharon thief. To report a stolen Sharon, call 1-800. Return your Sharon.
Tiffany.
It's the Sharon hotline. Has a Tiffany stolen your Sharon? $5 a month. Your valuable contribution goes to the safe return of Sharons all over the world. It is going to be a class action lawsuit. You're going to hear from our lawyers, Tiffany.
It's appropriate.
What the fuck? How do we get here? After Dark is going to be fucking brilliant. You know what's funny, Spencer? Spencer said, I keep hearing Ozzy yelling, Sharon! She has a water bottle that she brings to my house. She's going to go get it. Sharon left the screen. If you have Sharon has left the screen on your bingo card, Yahtzee. So, it literally said Sharon across it. Every time I see it on my kitchen table, I'm like, that fucking cup.
I love it.
Sharon, Morgan said, you got here by being possessive and not letting go of control, Andrea. What? Sometimes I don't think Morgan actually likes me. I really don't. I don't. I know we're off. I'm not possessive. I mean, I am. Shut up. The shit is this. She loves me enough to call me out. On what? Pocket. I did say that's my Sharon. Get your own Sharon. First of all, Sharon likes it when I'm possessive. She likes it. So shut up, Morgan. Apparently, I give daddy energy now. I'm Daddy Andrea. Oh, no. So you know what's funny though? Sharon and I were talking about that. She's the mom of Sweet Release Healing, and I am the dad. You know what, Jared? I will. We'll see, bud. We'll see. So yes, Sharon is the mom, and I'm the dad, but I'm the dad that stayed. Just gonna put that out there. Just saying, balancing that masculine energy. Jared, no, that's my Sharon. Whoever pinned that sucks. Shut up. Someone pinned that on TikTok. That's right, Morgan, and they all love it. Now they all caught up with what freaking Morgan put in the chat. Okay. Are we done here? Well, I think we're done talking about the void and light and dark. Yeah. I think we're good here. I love you. We're stopping here and we're going to go over to After Dark, which this one has been an After Dark-ish already. And then stop TikTok and you guys can actually say what you want to say. Yay. I'm so excited to be Read the Riot Act. Thank you so much for being part of Sweet Release Healing and listening to the podcast or watching the podcast wherever you are. This has been Tiffany, Spencer, Charity, Sharon, and Morgan with the Sweet Release Healing Roundtable. I'm Andrea Lovett. I don't know why you want to, but stick around for next week's. Love you. Bye.